So today I want to give you guys a guaranteed way to tell when a library is a company you should run away from as fast as you can. It's a guaranteed, transparent method that will put all of your uncertainties and doubts to rest. And it goes back to something that just happened to me when trying to hire an exterminator for my home, actually. So I want to tell you guys a quick story and relate it to how it translates to sync licensing and working with libraries, okay? So I've been recently having a lot of ants creeping into my house, and it's getting out of control. They're in the kitchen, they're in the bathroom, they're going in our bedrooms, and they're also very aggressively taking over the yard. So every time I walk outside, there's just tons and tons of ants. So it's really, really not fun to be at my house right now. So I was calling around to extermination companies, finding out how I can get somebody to come out and help me with this problem. I had tried some of the, buy your own stuff at the store and worked to a small extent, but it's not really putting a big dent in the problem. So I needed to get some professional help. So I got this company to come out. I won't mention their name, but they were not the company that I ended up signing with. The salesman comes out, and essentially what he does is he tells me that they do want to sign me up for a month-to-month, basically year-long contract where they would come out every single month and spray my home. I didn't really want that. I just wanted a one-time spray and a one-time service. However, the only way that they can service me is to sign me up for that 1 year. He assured me, though, that if I wanted to cancel at any time, there's basically a $90 cancellation fee. So I'm not really locked into the full year, even though they say they want you for a year. You basically pay the $90 and you're out. So I thought, okay, well, that gives me some freedom that if I want to continue this, I can. If I want to get out because I feel like I don't need it anymore, I can get out. So I sign with him. I pay the initial fee. He goes away. He signs me up to get my first service in a couple of days. The next day, the contract gets sent to me from the company, and the cancellation policy is not matching what he told me. The cancellation from this company is now saying that if I cancel anytime between now and the end of the year, I'm liable to pay all of those fees that I didn't pay for the whole year without getting any service. So that means that if I cancel after month 1, I've got to pay for 11 months of their service without getting anything for it because I canceled an annual contract. This is where it's going to tie back to sync libraries, okay? So I text the salesman and I say, I'm getting misinformation here. I'm getting 2 different stories. You told me it's a $90 cancellation fee. Your company with a contract is saying that I owe the whole year if I cancel. What is it? This needs to be rectified before I move forward. His response is what told me that I need to not work with him and not work with his company. Here's the first response he gave me. Oh, that's new. Well, when that comes up and you decide you want to cancel, just go ahead and give me a call and we can work on it then, okay? That's how I responded to my concern. That it was a new policy, okay? So he didn't address whether or not he knew it was a policy or that he was telling me wrong information or just that was a new policy. That was how he handled that. And that to basically not worry about it, and when I want to cancel it, we'll take care of it then. Which to me, I interpreted that as, well, when I want to cancel, you mean I'll just pay the whole year? Like we'll deal with it that way? Like the way that the contract says I have to deal with it? So that was really telling that that's how I dealt with it. I came back and said, no, that doesn't work. Are you saying you weren't aware of this policy or, what's really going on with the story? Because I'm feeling like I'm being misled here that you told me one thing, but your company's saying that's not how things work. His next response gave me the confirmation I needed to run as far away from him as possible. He then blamed me and said, well, if you were planning on canceling before the year was out, why did you sign with my company anyways? This is not the type of company you probably should have signed up with if you were thinking about canceling early anyways. That's how he decided to handle that, okay? So it gave me all the confirmation to say, thank you, I appreciate your response. Now I'm for sure guaranteed that this is the right choice. I need to cancel and get a refund from your company. So I ended up doing that. And how this relates back to you guys with sync licensing is that so many of you guys have questions for libraries that you work with, right? Tracks aren't showing up in your BMI portal or your ASCAP portal. Tracks you sent to a library, only some of them are showing up on their catalog, or maybe none of them are on their website. And you're like, well, where did all my tracks go? And you're kind of concerned, you're worried, you don't want to seem like you're annoying them or like a newbie or like you don't know what you're doing. And so there's a lot of hesitation to just be asking libraries directly, what's the deal? Where are my tracks? Are they getting registered? What's your process? Please keep me in the loop about what's happening with the music that I spent a lot of time and hard work giving to your company. please make sure you do ask those questions. Your career is important. You're important enough to get those answers and to find out what's going on with your music. But here's what's really cool. Judge them how they react to you. Okay, you don't necessarily want to judge them on the fact that maybe it's been 2 weeks and your tracks haven't shown up in BMI or ASCAP yet. BMI and ASCAP are notoriously slow for getting tracks uploaded and on their website. It takes a long time sometimes. You don't want to prejudge them just because the tracks haven't shown up on their website. Maybe they do that at the end of the month and they have a process where they send it off to one of their employees and they just upload all new tracks once a month. You need to just kind of ask them what is their process. So try to not be so judgmental on what's happening before you ask these questions. But once the question or the confusion pops up for you, reach out to them and then evaluate how they respond to you, because it tells you everything about them. Okay, if they come back to you with anything that's like, you're bothering us, you're asking too many questions, we'll get back to you later on this. Anything that makes you feel like you're wrong for asking a question like that, which is ridiculous. These are good questions and these are legitimate questions for you to ask. If they at all try to push the blame back on you or to make you feel like that's not an appropriate question to ask them, run the hell away from them. Okay? Run as fast as you can away from them. They're telling you in their actions what they care about. And you and your music and your royalties and your interests are not it. It's not on their list at all. Their composers are not at the top of their priority list. You don't want to work with a company who's treating you like that and just blowing you off, right? And not taking your concerns seriously and trying to reassure you about what's happening. So it's a double-edged sword where sometimes you had some high hopes for a company and they respond to you that way. And it's like, damn, this really sucks. I really had hopes for this. And now I'm realizing it's just not the right company. But find that out sooner than later, okay? Don't be a composer that's too shy to ask these questions. You're not really sure. You're a little bit scared to. Find out this stuff as soon as you can working with the library, because if you get that confirmation early on that they care about you, that they're timely with their responses, that they're actually going to put your considerations and your needs high up on their priority list, then you can sleep easy knowing you're at least working with a company that's going to care about you and they're actually going to go to bat for you and they're actually going to worry about your income as well and what's going on with your tracks, okay? So please, if you take anything from this, just know that it doesn't matter if you've only been working in sync licensing for 1 day or literally 1 second. None of these questions are newbie questions. None of your concerns are, or uncertainties or, confusion about what's happening with your music. None of that is inappropriate to ask a library. All of it. I don't care what your question is. It's all appropriate. Ask your libraries. Have that confidence. Be polite, of course, in your emails or your phone calls, but be direct and say, I have a question about my registrations. I have a question about the distribution of my tracks. I have a question about our contract. I have a question about when sync fees are paid out. I have a question. It doesn't matter. All of your questions are valid and they're important and you should ask them. And always see them as an opportunity to get this kind of clarity, to find out, is this really the company for me? Are they really the people that I thought they were? Let's put it through the test right now and judge them on how they respond to you. That's what I got for you guys. I hope this finds itself useful for you in your careers. Please comment below if you have any further comments, thoughts, or opinions on this topic. We'd love to hear from you.